Hi, my name is Manu Mitra and I will be the instructor for Azure DevOps Server. Formerly it was like TFS, Team Foundation Server. So I'll be, we'll be going brief into that, and having some. So I'll be more into introduction part. I'll not be going more into detail, each and every detail, but we will be covering, some of the parts. So first thing, what you will want to do is, TFS. You see this TFS. So Visual Studio dot Microsoft.com/TFS. So I can give you the access. So this is online, so you can do it online. So you can download this one. Download TFS, Team Foundation Server. TFS is Team Foundation Server. Before it was like TFS. Now there's Azure DevOps Server. Azure DevOps Server 2019. So they changed it, but functionality is actually similar. The functionality is a little bit. So we will be working on the free version, the community edition, that is free for how to. So in this case, I'll be showing you. So this is the introduction class, but I'll be going through how to create a test cases, how to execute a test cases. This is different from all other tools. I have these classes from Rally, Jira, and all this, but this is different. This is completely different, and this works on Kanban process. Rally tool, test management tool. So this is the test management tool actually, what I'm going to explain. It works good on both Scrum as well as Kanban, but this works on it's Kanban process. So Kanban is a part of it, agile process, where we have this. So as you can see, right? So this is this is the URL which we are going to. Guess what? We will be doing this from scratch. Let me show you actually. How to. Let me show you. How to actually create a profile actually. So let me sign out. Okay, and I have another profile. Let me check you, and I'll show you how to. You have to have this email ID first. Let's go to this, how to create. So what you want to do is Outlook dot. Okay, you can go to here. I guess what, I'll be using this because I have already account, so I don't want to go to this. So outlook.live.com, and you can create an email ID. Go ahead and create an email ID. So what you have is, you get an email ID actually, either you can get from Outlook or Hotmail. You have this option, so I'm not going to this. You can create yourself. Email ID is not a big deal. So once you have created that, you need this Microsoft email ID. Unfortunately, this doesn't work on Gmail or any other email ID. You need to have this Microsoft email ID. Sorry about that. That's the Microsoft wants to work on that. So that's fine. Go ahead and create an email ID. I already have this email ID, so I'm not going through this. Okay, so you can go ahead and create that. Okay, once we have done that, let's assume that you have created an email ID, right? Now what you want to do is, you want to sign in. Okay, so what I'm showing here is how to create an profile for yourself to work on it. I cannot give my access for this. The reason being, that Microsoft doesn't allow this multiple access. So I'll go ahead and clear this one. So this has secure password, so just bear with me. Okay, this luckily didn't ask for this password, but that's good. Okay, maybe probably that one has this problem. So once you create this, right, you will have this option. Okay, you'll have this option. You remember this, visualstudio.com/TFS. We can go once again actually. Never mind, we can have this once again. Look at this, visualstudio.microsoft.com/TFS. This is the old URL. but it works. Luckily it works. And I will go here and go ahead and click on Visual Studio Profile, and if you see here there is no organization, so I'll create a new organization. So I want to get started with it, right? I want to get started, so create an organization. So once you create it, go ahead and so I can name this, you know what, I'll put it as probably you have some choice here. So what is the name of the organization you want to put? So this will be there, you know, this you cannot change it, dev.azure.com. Here what I'll do is Udemy /training, you know, guess what, I'll use this one, Udemy -training. This is my organization. Let's see this. Okay, and I'll go ahead and click on this, and this will take some time. Microsoft is a little bit slow, but so once you create this organization, right, you have this organization created. So what you do here is, so now you have to create a project name. So you want public or private, I'll put as public, and project name. So we know what I'll do is Azure DevOps, you know, Azure, since we are working on Azure DevOps server. Okay, but that's what I'm going to create a project. Since here we go, see here. Okay, now I have this options shown here, and you know, you have successfully created, and actually this is this is kind of test management. It's a, I would say, rather project management tool. It's more of a project management tool, and we are successfully created you know, an organization where Udemy training is this organization, and the project name is Azure DevOps Server, right? So this is how, you know, you can create an a profile for yourself. So why I'm explaining this, this is for yourself. I'm not going to go here in this. This is for yourself. You want to create yourself. Why? Because you want to practice. You know, this is the reason of my classes. All of my classes are for practice purpose. You know, you have to practice for yourself. I'll be explaining all this, but if you don't practice, you know, I'll be giving you the URL too, you know, but you want to create, let me just watch classes. So I have been giving a lot of classes on Jira, you know, Rally, but this is different. This is more of a project management tool rather test management tool. The reason, because you have a lot of projects, testing is hardly done. The testing is done, we'll go testing perspective, but the amount of testing is done is really less. So to get access, I'm giving you this attachment. Actually, username will be your Microsoft email ID and your Microsoft email password. Okay, so this is the URL if you want to access. And how you have to get into it, you have to create an organization first, then create a project for yourself. So this Udemy training is an organization, and in that you have this project what we are working on, Azure DevOps Server. Okay, so this was for your this was for creation, you know, this was only for demonstration, so I'll not be giving you on this one. So guess what, I'll sign out and we'll go to things which are pretty much ready for me actually, which is ready for me, but you have to do it also. So again, I'll go to this URL, go ahead and click on that. Oops, did it log in? Okay, good. So what I'll do here is go ahead and click on sign, and it shows you options. So I'll be using this one. So this one we have created and shown you, right, how to create an organization. You have to create an organization. You cannot skip that. Any organization, you can create your name itself, it doesn't matter. Create it on your name or creator, and then you have to create a project, and underneath project we'll be working on it. So that password. I think this has some security code here. I don't think I can log in just like that. Oh, I did. Good. So now, now I don't need this, so I close this one. Okay. Now see here, this is the old one. That's the reason you have this. Is the visual, this old one. That's the reason you're having this one. Otherwise, the new one comes with Azure dev.azure.com/organization name. Okay, that's how it works. But this is the old one, which was created long back, I guess 2015 or something, when I was trying to teach Team Foundation Server, actually TFS. TFS is Team Foundation Server from Microsoft. So this is also TFS, but this is they changed the name. Just like you have this quality center, and they changed for HPLM, right? Application Lifecycle Management. Similarly, this is TFS, Team Foundation Server. They changed it to Azure DevOps Server 2019. Since this is 2019, great. Now what I'll do here is, this is my organization. Okay, I can create one more organization if I have to. Okay, I can create one more organization. But I'll go to this organization and I'll see how many projects are there for my organization. I guess you have to also option of creating a project. We'll figure it out later on that. But right now, what we'll do here is I'll go ahead and click on this project, and the same thing, right? The only thing is this is private. I cannot change this. This is the old one. Sorry. That's the reason you have the old URL, but new URLs don't come with this. I guess I don't need this. I'll close this one. So here, but you have a lot of options here. So okay, now, so this is, I guess this is how you can create here. Okay, we'll just figure it out later here. So once you get into this, okay, this is not the dashboard. Normally, if you have this test management tool, or I can close this one. Can show up to me project settings. I can go ahead and click on projects. Okay, so we'll not go right now. It's we'll go to the overview. So this is the overview. Actually, we are looking into the overview of Team Foundation. I'm sorry, the Azure DevOps Server. They changed the name, Azure DevOps Server 2019, formerly TFS, Team Foundation Server. Okay, so this is the screen which we get. We'll try to see one by one. So what is this? So this will be the introduction. So I've shown you how to create an organization. I've shown you how to create a project, right? If I'm fast, probably you can go back and you can refer it, or you can do that if you think it is fast. But I was just showing to create and for yourself. So that's how you can create now. Okay, so here there are many options. You can see here there is an overview. So this is an overview. What's a project status, how many members are there in that project. I can change this. Probably I can go in project settings. We'll worry about later. So overview, this is the overview. We'll go to each and every. Actually right now we just have a look, and in next classes we'll be looking into more detailed information actually. So here and we'll go to this summary. Doesn't show much. So what I would like to have to see is the dashboard. So dashboard is very important for me. So here the use of dashboard is, what, I can hide this. So this comes in the full screen and looks good. Okay, so the reason of having this dashboard in this project management tool or test management tool or whatever tools we are using, the reason of having this is if somebody assigns you work and in Agile. So let's say you're working in Agile. So this is an Agile process. What we are talking about, I mean, this is not Agile. This is a tool which is used in agile methodology. That's what I mean. So now in this tool, what you do here, okay, so this is the dashboard. Okay, this is the dashboard, and probably we'll work in detail probably in the next class. You'll see if in this dashboard. I just wanted to give you overview. So you can edit here. You see here, edit. If you don't like this, let's say welcome, I want to delete it, you can delete it, but you can edit here, and you can assign a widget to yourself. Okay, let's say you want burn down chart, burn up. So this is the process in agile, right? Whenever you execute and test case, and you have this chart created, so this chart is created for you automatically. No one creates the charts. It's automatically created based on your user story, based on your test cases, based on your bugs you have created, and all those things. So these are the widgets available which you can add it to your dashboard. So let's see if I can add any widget to. So assign to me is already there, I guess. That's why it's check mark. Burn down chart. And I click here. Here you go. So, and I can done editing. So assign to me, if you see here, this thing is showed up here, assign to me. So what is assigned to me? I'll be looking into here. So let's say I don't want this. I don't want this. I can delete it. So it goes away. One of the use of this dashboard is one of the use of dashboard is when it is assigned to you. Let's say I cannot move this. Actually, I can configure this. This one I can use any other. As a matter of fact, burn. Let's use this burn down chart and click on add. It gets added here, and I click on done editing, and see here. Since there is no work done, so that's the reason it's not showing here. So you can configure this widget. You can configure. For now, I'll delete it. So that's how you can add. You can add new, widget. Whatever the widget available for you. This is assigned to me. Your build history, burn down chart. Let's say you want to know burn down chart, burn up chart, or the work items which is available. So you can do right from in the edit. You can also remove anything if you don't like it. Oh yeah, and also you can move it. You see here, this is how you can move it. Guess what? Oh, this thing is dancing here and there. So I'll just put it right there. And you can also remove this one and put here if you want. But no, we'll just put here. And once you're done, click on done it. Well, actually, it's assigned to me is right here. I'll probably change it. So here, that's how you can, welcome. I don't want it, so I'll put it here somewhere. You can do that here. So, so that's how you can make use of this dashboard. This is the dashboard. Why you do need dashboard? Okay, so that's a very good question. You can see, let's say your boss has assigned some work for you, and you can see right here what work is assigned to you. Okay, I can see right here. So here I don't have right now at this point of time, so that's the reason it's not showing anything. But otherwise, the the reason of having dashboard is one of the reason is to see what work is. Sometimes your boss doesn't shows you. I'm sorry. Sometimes your boss doesn't tell you that assigned work for you. They just put the work, and you have to figure it out yourself, right? So that is one of the a reason you want this dashboard. Okay, I mean it's common for any project management tool or any test management tool. You have this dashboard mandatory kind of thing. So this iteration, you see here iteration, what iteration it has run, and one more one more important part in this dashboard is you can create any item right here. Let's say you want to create a new user story. Okay, if you are a product owner, you create a user story. So let's say go ahead and click on user story and you can start right here. So let's say Geomo Online. We'll go what is Geomo Online. So right now just don't worry about it, but you can create here and you can create bugs too. Now this depends upon your access level. Okay, since if you're creating this organization and you're creating this project, you will be having all this access because you are the super admin of this. But technically, if you are working at the workplace and you are let's say you are a tester, let's assume I'm teaching as a testing perspective, I agree. But if you are a tester, you don't have all these options, and even if you're a developer, you don't have most of these options. You don't have user story, you are not a product owner. A test case, of course you will have access to read write access to test case. Task issue, you don't have access to feature, you are not a product owner. Epic, no access. Bug, of course you will be having read write access to bug. But if you are a developer, if you are a tester, you have those. If you are a developer, you don't have access to, you might have access to test case because developer has unit test case and all this stuff, right? So you might have few of these access, and bug you have only read access and some access to assign it. So that's how this dashboard works. So this was pretty introduction part, and you can actually change the settings for dashboard. I mean, you can create your own dashboard, that's what it means. I guess I can enter into full screen, so this will be the full screen of my dashboard. I don't know, I don't really require that thing, but it's an option, good to know. So you can see here your team members, you can add the team members here. I cannot add team members at this point of time, but let's see here. Oh, this is, hold on. Okay, great. It's not assigned to, so here you can assign access, but this is an admin kind of thing, admin job to assign the team member. So pretty much you will not have access to this. Probably I have this access. Yeah, I'm using Manu 6308, right? I have this Outlook manu.ieee@outlook.com. So if I'm admin, if I have to access, I will be having this different access level. So because this is super admin, that's the reason you can do all this. But here, yeah, of course, even if you're a tester, you still supposed to have this option of editing this dashboard. Dashboard is just like dashboard, it's just to view your your user story or your test cases and all those things. That's the reason you have this dashboard. So we'll go back here. So that's pretty much about the dashboard. So you can change it, you can if you're working on or you can create a new dashboard. Guess what, we'll try to create a new dashboard. We'll see as Udemy dashboard. This is for your understanding actually. Automatically refresh the dashboard for, okay, this is a very good option. The reason they have this, let's say your boss assigned you work, right? And you want to know which, you're working on 3 to 4 projects. Let's say you're working on 3 to 4 projects, and let's do this project dashboard. All right, and let's say they assign you some work, and you didn't know it was like the assigned morning, and you want to check mark this so that every 5 minutes it gets refreshed, that you know that the work is assigned for you. You have to check on it, because sometimes they might not tell, or this might make case one of the reason, right? Your boss might be in California and you are in New Jersey, and you know they assigned you at some point and you don't know. So at that time you want to check mark this, and you know, and so this will refresh every 5 minutes, so that you will have this, you know, that's the sign. For this case, don't want, I'm explaining why this, the reason of having this. So go ahead and click on create, and I can assign widgets, and add this build history, burnout chart. So this will not work because at this time there's no thing, only to just to show that we could add more widgets to our. So once you've done it, you know, this is how your dashboard looks like. Now we have two dashboards. You can go hover your mouse and see which dashboard you like. You can go ahead and, you know, view that dashboard. This is pretty much small, just to show you we can add you know, another dashboard. So and then adding another dashboard is like you know, having one more option. You know, let's say you're working 2 to 3 projects and you want to know the other projects as well. So you have you know, configured your dashboard to see that other project, how the other project is working on. Okay, so that's the reason you want to have 2 to 3 dashboards. But for me, I don't think so. I don't want 2 to 3 dashboards. Although if I am working in 5 projects, I will figure it out something to put in only in one. The reason being, I don't want to go too much into working only in dashboard. There are a lot of options here to do. I don't just go into just do the dashboard thing. Okay, so it is just a dashboard. So that's pretty much about dashboard. Let's go back here and see here. So we went through summary overview. So overview and summary is same thing. So we talked about this dashboard, adding a new dashboard, adding a new team member. Okay, let's go to guess what, wiki. Wiki is like SharePoint. SharePoint where we know. Guess what? I probably want to show you in the next class, because I'll show you how to create this, and you know, you'll have some brief idea. As a matter of fact, I also have this test plan document ready with me, so that I'll show you how this thing works. Why is this wiki? So let's have this information. What is the reason of having wiki? Is kind of the information. Let's say you have this, you're working on test plan document, test strategy document. Let's say you have this test plan. Is this opening? Okay, good. You have this test plan document, the strategy document, meeting notes, you know, scrum meeting. If you're okay, you don't have this scrum and all these documents thing. Test plan and requirements document. Let's say you have requirements. Okay, so this is the test plan document, and I want to use this document to share with my team, right? Let's say lead is responsible to create this test plan document, and he has to share with the team. So I'll put that into wiki. Okay, I'll do that thing in the wiki. So that's the reason of having that option of wiki. Probably, you know, we'll go that because you have this option of attaching to. So okay, so you know, I'll go through that one next class. We go to this wiki and try to create that one. So let's go to introduction part on boards. So board is is a board. I mean, board is, it's a virtual board actually. The let me show you something. Scrum wiki. So board is actually the board they mean by actually, this is oh yeah, this is what they mean by board. Actually, thing is, they took out the idea from this board. This is a traditional Scrum, traditional. I mean, when I used to work, probably in 2013 or something, they had this option of board. I mean, at that time it was tools were good, and there's been a lot of changes. But okay, this is the board. But here in this scenario, the board means work items. Of course, it consists of I don't know why they have this again, board work items, backlogs, sprints, queries. Okay. Okay, so we'll go through this. Let's go to work items. We'll talk about this in the next class. We'll try to create some of this and try to go in detail. So this is a board. Actually, you have this one. Oh, work items is here. You have this. You create work. You can create a test case. You can see here. You can create bug. You can create task. All these things you can create in the work items. And then you have this board option. Now this is board like board. This board. And what you do in traditional, let's compare and study. Let's try to compare this. In traditionally, what you do is this is a sticky note, right? This is a sticky note. You take the sticky note and put it here. If it is in progress, from to do to you change it to in progress. From in progress you to do in testing. Similarly, you can do that to here. GM Online, I can drag and drop, put it in active, and see here this chart, velocity chart. This is a velocity burn. You remember this burn down chart, burn up chart, velocity charts. This gets updated automatically, so you don't have to do anything here. So this is limit for 5. You cannot go beyond 5. The reason this is a community edition, not full version, so they have this limitation. You can go ahead and click on again resolved, and then you can go ahead and click on closed. So this gets updated blue color. I think it was blue color before it. Yeah, blue color to green color. Blue color in progress, green color is completed. So we'll go back here. So this is a board. So we'll go in detail actually in the next classes. But in traditional way, what you do is you actually take the sticky note and put it in progress, and in progress you put in testing, and always, of course. So here's the thing: whenever a new user story, there's a user. This is a user story. For a new user story, there's a task. Whenever a new task starts, it's from a developer point of view. Tester never starts first. Developer starts, because you cannot start testing before development, right? So the new sticky notes is always from a developer, and developer puts it in progress, and once in progress it said okay, it's completed, ready for testing, then you start testing. Similarly, this is the case here too, but this is a traditional way. You do it in here you do it online. Okay, and okay, that's about board. We'll go in detail actually, little bit in detail. And here backlogs. Here you can create a backlog. So backlogs is, what are those? Backlog is actually it's a chunk of let's show you a backlog. What does this backlog means? Backlog is actually guess what, this is a product backlog. So let's say this is it's a lot of user stories. Backlog, you can take it as 30-40 user stories, not sure. I mean, it could be more or it could be less. It's a high level requirement. It's a very high level requirement. That's a backlog. It's a requirement still. It can consist of many user stories, but it's a job of a Scrum. I'm sorry, product owner to make sure these user stories are updated. Those backlogs are taken care by product owner. Okay, but here you can create here, since you are a super admin, you can create anything whatever you want. But if you're going as a tester, if you're going as a developer, you don't have access to this. You only have read access. That means you can view this. Okay, this is the task, this is the task, this is a bug. That's what you can do. But technically you cannot create new thing because you will be restricted with the access. Alright, so we'll go to this, we'll try to create one, see this how it works. Okay, go to sprint section. So you have this sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, or however you want this. Here you have this iteration 1, iteration 2, iteration 3. I can create one more, iteration 4, right? So I can create one more, and you can work on the sprint is the time, the time which is taken. So let me give you an example. So sprint is I'll assume as sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, sprint 4, since there will be a name or there may not be a name. But here, just for ease of convenience, one sprint takes 1 month. Let's assume here it's based on, let's assume one sprint is a time, and one sprint takes 30 days. We will just assume as for an example, but not necessary. Sometimes it might be 15 days, 15 days sprint, yes, possible. 20 days sprint, of course. But 30 days sprint, we don't want more than 30 days. Now that's not agile. Agile means you are moving forward, fast. This is pretty fast. In agile you move, things are pretty fast. So sprint, I would take it 30 days is a standard time. Whenever I worked, it was most of the time it was 30 days. So here you can see January 8th to 19th. Of course, you can have as many 10 working days. 10 working days, you have this one sprint. Very well. So that sounds good. So we'll not go here at this time. So this is a planning session. Okay, here you plan and you will be having this access to this. You will not have access unless you are a product owner, but I'll be giving you introduction, and once you log in it, I hope you'll be making use of this access. This is access to everyone, anyone. Just follow the instructions, create an email ID, okay, of outlook.com or hotmail.com, and log into this and create organization, then create projects. You will show all these options will be here. You can just look into here. Okay, let's go to the queries. Queries is like you want to ask some question to the developer. It's kind of thing which is let's say there is no query actually. Oh, actually, guess what? This is for reports. Actually, guess what? This is for reports. So what you want to have is, unfortunately, I don't have any. Let's go to the test case. What item is equal to test case, and delete this one. And this is for reports actually. And once I run this query, is run. Okay, good. Okay, good. I have got this. So this is what you can see. So this is kind of trying to implement the SQL in this. Okay, good to know. But here you can see what are the test cases, because I selected the value as test case. If you want user stories, you can go ahead and click on user story, and it will run this query and show you the user stories. So basically, this is for you are trying to find out the what you're trying to find out, right? You want to find out bugs. You want to try and find out user story, you're trying to find out, you know, this is a lot of options for you. You want to find out task, you want net epic and all the stuff. Okay, so this is not the use of this queries. And if you go to this charts, um, too bad. So let me check it here. I'll go to task and run this query. Now what, wait, so we'll go to, it was the test case. Now we will working on a test case, and we'll save this save this query, and we'll just name my folders fine. Or there are some queries here, not sure, this we'll just put it current direction and put it as test case. Click on, I see this, sometimes you don't have access for this, so that's the reason, you know, you have to run that one. So sometimes you don't have access. So okay, so once I've saved that, let's go to this chart. Let's see, you can create a chart here and you can visualize. So I want the chart on test case chart and group by state, and this is how you can, now you want pie chart, bar chart, column chart, you know, you can do that, all the stuff. Guess what, we will, you know, we'll work on this one actually. We'll just go to this and see this. So repos we'll just, you know, put aside for this one. These two things are actually, you know, change management team where actually let's look into it, you know, nothing wrong to look into it, but I'll not be going detail into this. The reason, because this has more than what actually it is. This has this XML files and all these files for build process. The build process means whenever you're moving the code from one environment to another environment, you have this checking the code, right? So all this is done in Azure. So when you're using Microsoft Azure system, so in this everything is done right here, so you can do it here. This is in the build process. And releases, so let's say you have this every month a new release, you can, you know, I don't think I can create one, I don't have access. You can do that too. And then you have this library, you can create, you know, library. Then you have this task group, and then you have deployment. So deployment is the reason of deployment. So you have this 3 environments. Let me, you know, give some detail on this deployments. What is this exactly all about? So you have these 3 environments. So one is dev environments, the other is test environment, and the other is production environment, right? And now deployment is the code, when the code is moved from dev environment to test environment, and from the test environment to production, you know, this is where that comes into picture. So deployment people, so there is a different team altogether. Now you don't do this, you know, it's good to know that, you know, you have this option, but you actually don't do this. This is the job of a middleware team, or the person who is responsible for deploying the code from one environment to another environment. So that's the reason you have this deployment. So I'll not be going into this in detail, this one. That's the reason I'll put this as an introduction class. The reason, because I have to explain each and everything. If I have to explain each and everything, then it will take more time, and you know, we don't have a lot of time. I'll just put it the introduction. Whenever I am free, probably I'll go each module in detail and explain that later. So okay, so let's go to the test plan. Once you create your test cases, so this is a project management tool, as I told you, because a lot of projects kind of thing, right? This is a project management tool, more of a, rather than test management tool. So you have this test plans. So test plan is, right, let's say you have created a test case. Now this is a very complex process here. Let me tell you, this is a complex. I've used Rally test management tool, I've used Jira test management tool, I've used HPALM, HP application lifecycle management tool, but this is beyond my understanding. Guess what? These, whenever I write something in the board, let's say work items, let's say I have written in the work items, right? I have this task or test case. Now I have to execute the test case, right? This is the test. Let's see one of this example. I've written some test cases for my GMO. Okay, we'll write some test cases though, but that would not be helpful much because you not be. So I have to execute this test case. Let's say if I have to write one test case, I'll show you probably just in the next class to write a test cases. But if I have to write a test cases, I have to execute, right? I have to do that in test plan. But unfortunately, this doesn't show up here, right? And it doesn't show up here, and that is frustrating. I mean, how am I supposed to execute my test cases? I have written my test cases. That's of course I have written in the work items, and that's what I have done. But no, the problem is you have to do in the board. If you write here, only then it matters. Board does matter. So only board, when you write it here, only then it is taken as into consideration for this. So we'll be running this so many iterations. You can have as many iterations as you can, but for this iteration in sense, let's take it as sprint. One sprint, one iteration. Next sprint iteration, you can take it as a sprint. Okay, and that's how it is. So to figure it out, it took 1 week. Trust me, it took 1 week, and I was confused the way the Microsoft organizes the work. But it's okay, it's okay. We will work on it since I already know how to do it. So we will work on it and execute the test cases and see, with the results here. So that's about it, and about the test plan. And then you have this runs chart supposed to show up here. Then it shows this how much you have run, how much has failed. It's supposed to show up here. Yeah, how many it's in progress, it's completed, half completed, and half not. One is failed, the pass rate is 0%. So that shows the runs. And you can do the load testing too. So I'll be taking an example in the so this was just an introduction part. Load test, what happened? Okay, I can do load testing. So load testing is actually the performance testing. Now these guys have mixed up, these Microsoft guys have mixed everything, like project thing, this testing thing, developer thing, build, so everything is so mixed up into it, and this makes much more complex because you have to know a lot more things, not just one or two things. So I'm not going to do load testing at this point of time, although I have an idea how to do the load testing, how to run it. This requires the download of this TFS actually, but let's see if somebody has done it. Let's see if, I don't think anyone has done it. So you can do this. So in this scenario, I'll be going on GMO post. Let's see, GMO post. Do I have that? Okay, good. So I'll take an application, a web application called GMO Green Mountain Page, GMO Online, for this demonstration of writing a test cases and executing it and reporting to the developer, and we'll go from there. Okay, so now I don't have access to artifacts because I'm using the free version. This is a free version. Artifacts, you don't have this access. I don't have access, but company, if they buy from this, they will be having this access to this. Okay, that's pretty much. But before ending it, we'll go into the project settings. Let's find out what the project settings is all about. So we have a lot of things here. You can, since you're not a super admin here at this point of time, I cannot add super administrator. Oh, guess what? Administrator is manu.it America, so I'm using manu.6308 at outlook.com. So I'm just a member. I cannot do anything. Very good. So although I'm an administrator, but I'm not a super administrator. Okay. I can change the logo here, and I cannot do anything here because I have to log in as manu.it America at Outlook, and then add administrator, and I can have this on off. So these are disabled. The reason because I'm not an administrator of this. I'm just a team member. So let's go to here and go to teams. So good to know. Good to know that you can have this access levels too, right? And teams, you know how many teams are there. We don't want to mess up with this. Security. Of course, I don't have this access. You see here, we can view this. As a matter of fact, in real time, you don't even have viewing access to this. It says you do not have necessary right to manage these permissions. Of course, I'm not an administrator, so that's why. Oh, oops! I don't want to delete anything. So contributors. Okay, this is contributes. Who are the contributors and all those things, and who are the readers. So these are the access levels. So you have this project administrator, readers, release administrators. So release administrators are for this. See here, I'm sorry, let's see here, for repos as well as for the pipelines, like builds and deployment groups, people. Those are for release administrators, because those are the ones who will be moving the code from test environment to from test environment to production, or dev environment to test environment. Those guys will be there. So notifications, since we don't have access to this, so we will not be able to do anything. You can get a new subscription. But it's good to know all this. You have these options to view this. Luckily, you can view this. In some of the organizations, you don't even have this option of viewing. Okay. Dashboard. We have seen this dashboard. You can create dashboard, edit dashboard, delete dashboard. Of course, you can do this. Boards. Board is used for Kanban process. Okay, Kanban. What is a Kanban? This is Scrum, right? If you know the Scrum is an iterative and incremental process in agile methodology. Similarly, Kanban is also is a similar process like Scrum. It's an iterative and incremental process, but little different from Scrum. Scrum has a lot of meetings, and if you see here, Scrum. Oh, this has so much of meetings. Kanban doesn't have. Let's see here. It's Kanban. Okay. Here, let's see here. Okay. This is how this Kanban. See here. So this, it looks like this. So this is this Azure DevOps server is more of a Kanban process. Okay, because you see here a lot of stories. It's similar to Scrum, but not too much of hectic work like Scrum. Scrum is hectic because lot of people, lot of things happen. So of course, Saturday and Sunday, weekends off. If you are working for Saturday, Sunday, then you have to check mark with Saturday, Sunday too. I'm not working on Saturday and Sunday. I'm not sure about you, but so here you can choose whichever you have this. These are the configurations and GitHub connections. If you have GitHub, can connect it. At this point of time, I cannot do that right now, but we have this option too. Service, this is pipeline. service connections. You have new service connection, go ahead and you can connect to Jira, connect to Kubernetes and GitHub. GitHub, you have GitHub, yeah, GitHub. Azure, you can Azure Bitbucket Cloud. You have a lot of options, so you can connect to that and see that the code export. The reason connection is to export the data into here and see what is the information here. Okay, so this is the pools. The pools you're having option. Is retention and parallel jobs. Let's say you're running a jobs. The reason you have this job, as I told you, right, to move this code into dev environment to test environment. So you cannot, don't tell me you're copy and paste this one. You have TBs of data. Now I think they have more TBs, petabytes. This the thing are working with petabytes of data. So lot of TBs, that means even if you take 5 petabytes, that means 1024 into 5 TB. That's pretty big amount of data. Now don't tell me you're just using mouse click to copy and paste that. That doesn't work that way. That's the reason you have this job. So which data you want, what data you want, you actually define here in the jobs. So we are not going deep into that. That will be a pretty much a different ocean altogether. I mean different universe actually. That's a different universe. So probably a different galaxy actually, I would say. In this universe there is a different galaxy, right? So if it's a Milky Way, then there's way more other than Milky Way. So we don't want to do that jobs thing. And in Microsoft, of course not. I don't do that in Microsoft, at least not me. Unless I have to do it, but they have this very complex way of handling things. I really don't like it, but if you have to know, you have to know, because you have to use in the project. Okay, you don't have permissions, but you can view this repositories. Repositories, again, these are for admins who will be working for repos, pipelines and artifacts. Okay, these are the users who will be using this. And then test retention, this retention, and how many days you want to keep this attachment, how many you want to keep these testers, and this is the options for you. So that's pretty much about this. We'll go back here. So that's pretty much about introduction part. So we'll go to, we only completed dashboard, right? Guess what, I'll take this class to wiki. We will go sequentially one after the other and finish this, because boards is a little bit different and wiki is a little bit different. So that was the introduction of all this. How to use this, how to create an organization, how to create a project, and then just we had just a glance on it, just in view. We will work in the next classes how to create test cases. Okay, first how to create an wiki, how to create test. You have test plan, how to put in this. We will work on that in the next class. Probably I have taken too much of time. So I hope you like this video. Okay, and probably you can work if you didn't understood something. I agree, it's not completely understandable, because a lot of teamwork is involved here. Not one or two guys don't work, a lot of people work in this. So that's the reason, but you can play around, once you get this access. Okay, so I hope you like this video, and thanks for watching.